New intro. What's up, Nick?
Oh, I forget the new intro is like shorter.
Yes, the new intro. We're used to like 30 seconds of intro. The new intro is very, very quick. Hello, welcome to Office Hours. If you are joining us for the first time and you don't want to listen to Nick or I talk, you just want to learn about some hot shortcuts in Lightroom, control to the right. If you're watching this replay, hit control right. It'll send you straight to the beginning of this episode. But we do have some announcements, some things to talk about. And Nick, we haven't been live in a while. We've had some recap episodes.
Oh no, it's been 3 weeks since live, I believe, right?
It's been a little while. So hello, welcome back.
Yes.
Nick, we need to talk about a couple things. One, what happened to your arm? And two, let's do that first, and then we'll recap what the show is for all of our friends who are new. Nick, what happened to your arm?
So
What's going on?
I'll give you guys a little update. I injured my arm last year pretty bad and kind of went on everything. I wanted everything to do before checking out surgery, and nothing worked, and tore a bunch of tendons right in the shoulder area. So with it being summer, with it being out of school, and this being the perfect time, had surgery last Friday. So it's going to be me and this fun little sling for about 5 more weeks. And we're learning how to still work at the same time, right? That's like the hardest part. And my doctor's like, stay away. And I'm like, I gotta get my hands on the keyboard, man. I gotta get the mouse,
Balance.
So
yep. Well, so that's what happened to Nick.
Yeah.
Nick, let's talk about what this show is for all of our friends who may be new, who may be just coming in for the first time. What is the show? What are we doing this year? We're just over halfway through. What's going on?
Yeah, so we are Office Hours every Friday at 2:30 p.m. Pacific time. We started as a fun little kind of like weekly show to kind of help you up your game as a designer and any application and anything you get to do, all kinds of projects. And right now what we're doing is we're kind of in that kind of 201 phase, right? We're kind of getting you to become like a creative hero by the end of the year. And I believe we're in a bit of a photography kind of boot camp world right now, right?
Yes, we are in the middle of talking about photography. Today we're going to be doing Lightroom, and we're going to be showing you how to do a full shoot in Lightroom, like start to finish workflow, and how to speed up your process a little bit. So I think with that, Nick, do we have anything else that we want to talk about? What's coming up? Let's talk about that. What's coming up in the next few weeks as we continue our series of Creative Basics?
We're going to help and kind of continue this whole process with photography and Lightroom with kind of a part 2 from what we're doing today, next week. And then after that, I believe, are we getting back into 301?
Yes. Yep. So we have a couple more weeks of photography, talking about masking, talking about retouching. We'll get into Photoshop actually next week, move out of Lightroom, and then we're going into our advanced segment, which is going to be 301. We have Adobe Max, of course, is coming up and is sprinkled in there. If you haven't checked it out already, Nick, I don't know why we haven't talked about this because it's kind of a big deal. Adobe Max is, the tweets went out, it happened, and Adobe Max, the site is live. So if you want to check it out, Adobe Max is live. You can go to max.adobe.com and you can register. The dates are the 16th through the 20th in Los Angeles, California, down by both Nick and I. But you can go check this out and kind of scroll through, find out some more information. If you want to know about speakers and you want to do like a Control F to find and then type in Andrew. I mean, there's a guy here who's speaking at Adobe Max.
Look at that shot.
There it is. So I am speaking Adobe Max. I'm talking about how to do a successful social media campaign. So make sure that you register for my segment. But otherwise, go to Max. It's a really, really great opportunity to network, to get to meet friends. It is in person as well as virtual. So there's a little bit of mixing. And yes, someone from our live chat is saying there is also a giveaway for a live pass. There is a giveaway for a pass running as well. So,
ooh, what a great, that would be a great one to snack for sure, man.
Right? And awesome. here's kind of the headliners. Stevie Aoki, Mr. Bingo. We got Aaron Draplin, of course. I'll be probably doing another interview with Draplin, which will be chaotic and fun. And really, really great lineup. Our friend Claudia, who is a friend of the show, friend of Adobe Live, will be there as well. And Halise. Halise has been on Adobe Live a few times as well. So some familiar faces there for you to get an opportunity to meet and get some level up skills from. So with that, Nick, would you like to do the honors of jumping into our lesson to the chapter marker for all those people that chapter marked? Nick, all right, let's do it in 3, 2, 1.
Hey guys, welcome to Lightroom Part 6.
You did it. Thanks for jumping all of our talking into the chapter. Perfect. Let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to be working over on my screen today. Nick's arm, not so mobile. And Nick, you're going to be kind of leading the project today, and I can kind of talk us through as we work. Where are we starting, Nick?
So I'm assuming the first thing we want to do here is we want to import, right? We want to get everything that you have taken either with your camera or your phone, something that might be on your computer. The first thing we want to do is get them all together, and we can like start getting into them, but importing them.
So super easily. So what I did is I actually have just put my photos in a folder, and I am going to go in here and do add photos. When I click on add photos, I can come down here, and I know they're in the Wild Goose folder. So today, what we're going to be working on, let me give you some context, is we're going to be working on some product photography that I did for one of my clients. This is a real world client. This is a real project. We're going to be working on it together. Wild Goose Coffee, if you want to check it out. I also built their website, helped them out with some of their branding as well. But we're going to be working on some photos that I took for them of their products. And I have these in a folder, and I can simply select all of them and then review for import. So they are .arw files, which are raw files, which means that we'll just be able to kind of customize them a little bit more. So you can see here, all of these are coming in. So it has some of these are previously added because I have brought some of them in. But what I want to do is I'm actually just going to add all 14 photos. So usually it's going to add them all together. I do want to maybe make an album. So let's see here. Let's do new. Let's just do new, and let's do office hours, Wild Goose.
And this is probably a great thing to do, so they're just not out there loose in the library. You've found one way to kind of consolidate them into a folder, making it much easier to batch.
Exactly.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh, what? Oh, it duplicated. Okay, let's hit OK.
Oh, because are they already in there?
Yep. So that is how you import, and you'll actually see down here that it's made a Wild Goose folder, right? I made the album, and I wanted that folder, all those photos to go in there. So I had imported them before, but what I can do is I can come back and find where those are, which I believe that they're in this 2021 folder.
Nice.
Yep, there they are. So we can see right here, we have all of these Wild Goose photos, and these are literally taken on my friend's coffee table. We set it up, did the lighting, and took them all using my camera. So I'm going to select all of these, just click and drag to select all of them, and I held shift. I'm going to right click and go to, I want to put them into that folder. So I can add photos to an album and go to OH Wild Goose, Office Hours Wild Goose, or I could click and drag them over there. I'm just going to add them to this folder.
Gotcha. So real quick, we are on Lightroom desktop, correct?
Yes, we are on Lightroom, not Lightroom Classic.
Yes, and this is the one that's web-based, or this is the one that is Lightroom, the app that we've opened?
This is the app. It also syncs with mobile. It is not Lightroom Classic. This is just regular Lightroom. So we can come into our, right here, we have our Wild Goose. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can just reset these so we're not,
go for it.
Doesn't matter. All right, so we have them all imported right here. And what I'm going to do to start out is I'm just going to kind of find the photos that I like, right? We want to review them.
Good.
And to do that, we can do it a couple ways. The way that I like to do is you just select one of them, and then you click right down here on this detail, right? So that's going to give us the full size detail. Or I can hit F. So doing F is going to display it in full screen. Okay, so what I'm about to do here is we are going to pick out our favorites and our least favorites, right? So in this folder, we have 61 photos. A lot of them, we have photos like this, we have photos like this, a lot of similar setup, but looking a little bit different. I'm gonna go through and pick out my favorites.
So the idea here is you wanna rank them and find some way to have them marked while you're reviewing, right? So you can kind of go back and go like, oh, here were my favorites. This is just a great way to look at them and kind of see. And I'm assuming there's options to look at these things differently too, right? Like in comparison view and things like that.
Exactly, yeah. So let's go through and let's just pick out the ones that I like. And what I like to do is I go into full screen mode, and I'm actually going to use hotkeys. And those hotkeys are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That will set the star ranking, right? So this photo I really like, think it looks good. So let's go ahead and hit 5 here and watch what happens. As you can see right down here, it sets it to 5 stars, right? You can see as I change that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to set it to 5 stars, and I also really, really like this one. So I'm going to hit Z, and that is going to flag it as a pick. And that just means that I'm picking it as a photo that I like.
So 2 ways to do it right off the bat, 1 through 5, but you also get to do the Z, and that gives it a that's like you've already called it one of your picks.
Yep, exactly.
Perfect.
So depending on the shoot, I'll rank them 1 through 5 stars, and then I'll also do picks and not picks. I know that this one is not going anywhere, and so very quickly, I don't like the focus isn't great. I don't like the shot, and so I'm going to hit X, and what that does is it's going to flag it as rejected. So you can see that Z is a pick and X is rejected. So it will reject that, and it just takes it out of the lineup, right? So I won't have to worry about it.
Like, it's not even worth rating at this point because you looked at a few things that you thought, no, not probably going to work.
Yep.
Right.
And what I might do here actually is we're going to do 2 passes real quick. And this is what I like to do to speed up my workflow is we use that Z and X to basically pick ones that we like or we don't like. And this is just the initial first, very quick kind of scroll through. I'm just using the right and left. And you can see if I have one that I like, I'm going to hit Z, and that's going to flag it as a pick. And if I don't like it, like this one feels a little too close up, I'm going to hit X, and it's just going to toss it out, right? So I'm going to go really quickly through here. I already have one that I like of that. That focus isn't good. And we're just trying to keep a very quick eye on what kind of the focus and the clarity of some of these images.
Perfect. Totally getting hungry for some candy right now, by the way. You can't throw that stuff in front of me and not make a difference, right?
No. Sure.
That looks clean.
Yeah. No. Yes.
Oh, we got a lot of ingredients on that one. That looks good.
There's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
Reject.
So that's a marshmallow, mango, blueberry?
It is. Yep. Marshmallow, mango, and blueberry.
Okay. Oh, that one looks good.
Toffee and milk chocolate, I believe. So that one's out of focus. Kill it. Save it. Kill it. So this can be very, very helpful when you're working through a ton of photos, right? Like this, we have just a ton of photos here. This one's creme brulee.
What I like about this too is like technically we probably were doing this somewhere on a pad of paper, writing down the last 4 numbers of that photo, giving it a ranking, ditching it or whatever. But to be able to do this now with the app, it tells you it was made for you. Like, right, this is a perfect solution to pick and choose and find the best.
Yep. And I mean, it's super quick. So now I'm back at the beginning. So I have all of my photos here, and now I can come to my filter and I can turn on so that it only shows me ones that have been flagged. And so what I can do is let's go ahead and do, let's do star rating. And I can actually turn it on so it's only ones that have been flagged as picked and only ones that have the rating.
Numbers.
Right?
Great.
So we have these here. You can see this has no stars, but if I come all to the end, we should have some here. Yep, this has 5 stars. And so it shows me which ones have stars that I want to start working with. Something else that I can do with this is it looks like there is a white balance to all of these. And I want to go ahead and make sure that as I work on white balance, it's going to allow me to sync them across all of the photos.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and do, let's pick one of these to kind of save and one to get rid of.
Okay.
So we're going to go side by side right here.
There you go. So you just click the icon with the side by side, two squares.
Yep, right there. So it's going to show us a comparison view that is side by side. And from here, I can actually click on either side and then place whatever image I want into that side.
Okay.
So let's say that I want to do 2 of these side by side right there. You can see, I can see, okay, this one, maybe I want to do that one. This one's a little tilted. This one is a little out of focus. And if I really want to see, I can come down here in the corner and click on parallel. And what that's going to do is it's going to lock the zooming. Okay. So that when I zoom in here, you can see that it's parallel zooming to what that image is. And you can very quickly see the one on the left is out of focus.
10 times better on the
right. Right. One on the right is a million times better. Yeah.
So as you scrolled and moved, it would move the other one to mirror the same positioning, basically.
Exactly. So the orientation, we can do the same thing here. We can split it so that we have a view that's going top to bottom. We can go left to right. And we also can swap sides if we want to on that comparison view.
That's great.
So this is a very easy way to see. And so here I can flag. All right, we're back.
There we go.
Oh boy, we're back.
Mark was wide awake.
Sorry about that. All right. So we're back, and we have the side-by-side comparison going on here. We can swap sides if we need to as well, and it just allows us to make those kind of quick edits to be able to see what's happening on either side. Now, let's go in and let's start really playing around with edits here.
Good. Okay. And you're at a point where you're feeling pretty confident with what you've chosen. You've got your ones or your A's there as well. So now it's time to get in and do a little editing.
Yep, exactly. So we're gonna hop in here and we're gonna do some editing. Let's go ahead and do star ranking. There we go.
Perfect.
And now I can come in and do some editing. Someone says it's muted. Is it muted? Do we have audio? Chat, let us know if there's audio. If not, we can fix it. All right, so we are going to continue because I think that it's working. The sound's coming through on my side. So what we're going to do is we are going to start editing, and this is going to be a very quick edit. We're going to come up here into this side edit, and we are going to go into presets. And with this, there are presets that exist that we could use. And what's happening is it's actually analyzing our photo. So this is a super easy way for you to not have to do a ton of work. It will analyze the photo and then recommend the best preset for you.
It's giving you like an auto choice.
Yes. So you can see they're a little warm. We've got some, very drastic here. So let's scroll through and see.
This is where you can always go back to your brand kind of like, definite. Ooh, that looked great. Your brand definition, is it supposed to be bright and cheery? Is it supposed to be dramatic and sophisticated? Like you're finding answers in these presets to what your brand could possibly be.
Yep, absolutely.
That's great.
So I'm not crazy about these that are happening right here, but what I can do to save time is, again, we could go in and we could edit these, and you probably thought you were watching this stream and you're like, oh, they're going to be editing the whole time. We're very much not going to, because we kind of don't have to. So we're going to go into this discover panel, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to be able to search for presets to download and then use.
Wonderful.
As you scroll, you can see that there are a lot of photos here, but I'm going to go up to right here, and I'm going to click on preset downloadable. Right there. That's going to add a kind of filter to our photos in Discover. And then we are going to do, let's do...
This is where you get a little bit like adding some mood, some good descriptions.
Yeah, let's type in coffee.
There you go.
See what comes up here.
And don't forget, Elizabeth has basically reminded us we want to look back at some of the homework we asked you guys to do. We saw a ton of it all into our Discord channel, so we'll take a look at those later today.
Yep, I'm gonna type in bright because I want it to be bright and cheerful.
Yes.
Ooh, I love what's happening with this leaf. So what's cool is as you hover over these, it will show you the before and after. So here's the before, and then there's the after, right? So it's showing you
that. Yeah, you need to see where it came from, really.
Yep,
that's really cool.
I love where it's landed, and so I'm gonna click save as preset because I think this will work really well for our coffee. And we are going to hit all of these pieces. Great. We're just going to turn on all of those to save it, and we're going to hit save.
There you go. Perfect.
Now I can come back to what I was developing before by clicking down here in the bottom right. And then that is going to be in our presets panel. So I can come over here to our presets. Where are we, presets? There, presets. And I can click on yours. And right here, Bright by Jillian Gonchard.
There you go.
That's the one that we just saved. So I can click there and it will save that across the board.
Wonderful. Look at that.
Looks pretty good. I like those tones a lot. So the white balance looks a little bit wonky for me, but what I can do is I can very easily come in here and fix that white balance. I can click on the eyedrop tool right here for the white balance selector. And then it's going to allow me to just pick a white portion, which I know that the front of this bag is supposed to be white. So I'm going to click on it. And you'll see there that it's shifted so that it's not as warm. It's gotten a little bit too blue, so I can adjust the temp right here. just a little bit. And let's go ahead and bump the exposure up just a tiny bit as well.
Sure.
Whoa, what happened there? Oh, Andrew pulled the exposure all the way down is what happened there. Hold, please. There we go. So let's go ahead and pull that exposure up just a tiny bit. There we go. That's giving us a nice kind of before and after. We can click here to see the before and after. You can see it's really bringing out those warm tones. So as I've done that, now what I can do is I can come into presets and I can actually hit plus. And this is just going to be my coffee revised. So I'm going to do revised coffee.
Great. And this is taking everything that you've just fine-tuned and now making your own preset to use.
Yep, exactly. So now I have revised coffee. And so now I can come to any of my photos and click on revised coffee, and it's going to copy those settings all the way across. What I could do as well is I can actually select all of these photos if I wanted. Boop. And then we can click on that revised coffee and it will apply it to those photos. Ooh, that looks really good there.
That's really nice.
All right, so this looks good to me. This is actually looking really, really good. So what I can do is I'm going to work on maybe exporting. Let's do some exporting, or at least some sharing. So let's say that this is the photo that I really like. I probably want to change some of the background, right? Right now it is weird. It's got a lot of like wonkiness going on. And so I might want to edit in Photoshop, right?
Yeah.
Check this out. I can go up here to the share panel and there's a bunch of options here, but what I want to do is I could share this as a JPEG just to get kind of approval from a client. I could send a link to them, but I do want to edit it in Photoshop. So what I can do is I can grab my photo here and we can go ahead and go to File. And we should be able to click on Edit in Photoshop. I don't know why it won't let me edit in Photoshop. Oh, Andrew.
It's got to be there.
Why were we not letting me edit in Photoshop here? Control-Shift-E. That's
Do you
where
have to export it to
That's where I want to be. Oh, it's because I have a bunch of photos selected. Let me go ahead and deselect real quick.
There we go.
There we go. All right. So where is our photo that we had? Let's see here. Where did you go, Cherry Photo? It's this one. Cool. So we have this here, and there we go. With one selected, we can go and edit in Photoshop.
Now we go.
And this is where we can start to make some of those minor adjustments. There we go. All right, froze up for a second. This is a gigantic image.
Got a circle going there.
Right. So the first thing we want to do is we want to make a copy. Just Control J is going to make a copy of that layer right down here behind my face. So that way we have the base if we ever need it again. And Nick, let's do a little quiz. We can quiz the chat as well. What should I use to make this, to kind of fix these edges? What tool could I use to make this on flat white?
Ooh,
there are a bunch of ways I could do this.
What do you guys think?
Chat, let us know. How do I extract this and make it on flat white? Nick, what would you do?
Well, I'm watching in our live one is dead. So I'm watching in the replay. So I'm not exactly sure which one you're talking about.
Oh, okay. That's right. Okay, cool. So let's hold on. I got you, Nick.
There we go. I got a little refresh there.
Let's fix this for Nick. Sorry, everybody. Give me just a second. And
we are at the point.
There he is. We're back. All right. So Nick can see the show now.
Yes.
We're back live, everybody. All right. So what tool would you use to take out the background to kind of isolate this image?
Oh, I would do the image select tool.
Yes, we could do that. Let's go ahead and do that and give it a shot and see what happens. I actually think it's going to get pretty close. So we used to have the magic wand. We used to have the quick selection tool. We used to have all these things. So now we have the object selection tool. And it's going to analyze this photo. It's going to wheel for a second, but it is analyzing right here, you can see, and it is finding the objects in this photo for us. So once that's done, I'll be able to just click on the pieces that I want, like that bag. And I want some of the cherries down here. That was a weird selection. Let me try that again, and it will select.
Like a Hershey Kiss.
I made a Hershey Kiss.
There we go.
All right, so that got pretty close. Let me do that selection one more time. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click and drag around this whole piece down here, and it should pull all of this off of that white background. The bag is a little too white there, so it may have some trouble. We'll see what happens.
I think there was a good enough edge. We'll see. Yeah, not too bad.
That looks pretty good to me. So I'm going to go ahead and mask that by just clicking on my masking tool. When I turn off the background, it's in pretty good. Let's go ahead and drop a color on the back here. And Nick, there's a question in chat if we want to chat about it from our friend Elizabeth.
Yeah, I was just going over that. Do you think we're at that point where taking photos with our phones can turn out better than actually with sub cameras? I think most photographers will obviously say no to that, right? There's still the need for the camera that they would use on certain shots. I know I'm always mesmerized with what real photographers can do. So I would say no, but I think we're blurring that line. We're getting so close. I have done major things in projects that the shots were taken with iPhone and no one ever knew.
Yep, absolutely.
So I think it's a little bit of both. It's so great to have that powerful tool in your pocket and on the go. But I don't think there's any replacement for the high-end studio, the incredible lighting, the camera as well.
Yep.
You know?
So we got a pretty good mask here. There are a couple little pieces that are a little bit wonky. So what I like to do is I'm going to go ahead and just control and click on my selection. And then I'm going to come up here to select and go to modify and do contract. And we're going to contract it by 1 pixel. And what that's going to do is it's going to move the selection in.
This is a great feature because like for years, I would do the feathering, or I would try, like, how can I just go in? It's basically offset pathing your object selection line, right?
Yep, exactly. So it's gotten just a little bit more of a crisp edge right there. And I also see a little bit of this halo happening. So I'm going to increase the contrast. And the way we can do it is just right click and then go to, where are we? Select and mask.
Yep.
And this is going to allow me to really play around. So you can see how soft that edge is. I want to go ahead and increase that contrast. And so I'm going to jack that contrast up, and that should get rid of that glow. And now that selection, there we go. Yep, it's got rid of that glow for the most part. We've got that bag. It's gotten way better up there as well. So if we zoom out here, that's looking like a pretty tight mock-up right there.
Yeah.
That's looking pretty good. All right, so let's zoom in and let's look at some of maybe the imperfections that are happening. And I'm going to go ahead and save this, and let's see what happens. In theory, if I save this, it will go back to Lightroom. So let's go ahead and open Lightroom and see what happens. It looks like Lightroom is updating currently, and boom. Since we edited it, it has updated it, and I can come in here and use some of the tools in Lightroom that I maybe want to fix, right? And so just like we have, just like we have blemishes, we can actually fix a lot of those blemishes in Lightroom by using the healing tools.
Yes.
So let's go ahead, and this healing brush, I'm going to use the brackets to just scale it down a little bit.
Great.
And I'm going to click over that little highlight that I don't like. And you can see it basically has moved that highlight. So if we wanted to, we could click and drag this around, and you can see that it's grabbing and replacing pixels from other places in that photo. So if you ever get a weird kind of replacement, you can click and drag.
Just move the source.
Exactly. You can just click and drag to move the source. So let's say that we want the name off of here. I can click and drag across here, and it should take a source, right? Maybe I want it to be right over here.
Right, yeah. So it's a little
maybe it doesn't match, right? So you can see how it's really just pulling pieces of that image, but I want it to match that lighting pretty well.
Great.
So that looks good to me. I also can use my scroll wheel if I want to make this larger or smaller. Now, I don't want this kind of hole up here, so I'm just going to click and drag over that. Automatically, it's going to find that for me. It looks pretty good to me. And we've got a pretty good look here going.
Yeah, not too bad there.
So what I want to do is let's go ahead and zoom out. Control minus is just going to zoom out. That looks good to me. We can close our healing brush. And from there, maybe I want to do the before and after view. So I can click right here and you can see the show original. Oh, it's made a copy of it is what's happened.
There you go. Yeah.
So the original is here, but then we can see the edit that we've done right beside it. So you can see all of the retouching has happened right there. We've gotten the name out of here. And someone is asking in chat another question. Hello, Elizabeth. Yeah. What's the difference in using Lightroom versus Lightroom Classic? Ooh, that's a good question. So Nick, do you know the benefits of Lightroom? We've talked about the platform and we were on the go last week. What does Lightroom do that Lightroom Classic does not?
That's a great question because I haven't dived into Classic too much, but isn't Classic more advanced?
Classic is a little more for a kind of creative professional audience. Lightroom that we're working in now is one, more approachable. I think the UI and kind of the way that you work is much more approachable. And the cool thing about Lightroom is that it syncs across devices. So we'll take a break from what we're doing right here. And I just want to show you, I can come in here and click on 2022. These are all our photos that we've used this in the last however long of this show. And these have synced from my mobile device. Sorry, I got distracted. These are synced from my mobile device. Here's my apartment that I moved into. And I took this in Lightroom on my phone and then edited it and boom, now it's synced into Lightroom. So Lightroom Classic,
everything.
Yeah, Lightroom Classic does not sync like that. Every photo that I've taken in Lightroom on my phone is here, right? And so I was out and about at my friend Raymond's photo exhibition, and here's the photo of Raymond. Right? Here's a photo I took in his exhibition. And I just took these on my phone, and you can see that taking it from my phone, it syncs into Lightroom, and that goes onto desktop into my library as well. So it shares. Lightroom Classic really lives within itself. It doesn't really go many other places.
Yeah. So I love the idea that if you're using the app, if you're on the go, Lightroom is just so much better of a complement when it comes to that.
Yep.
By having this stuff in there, your library is, you can grab it anywhere you are on any different source.
Yep, absolutely. So
that's great.
Let's show a little bit about the sharing and kind of review. Let's say that I want to send this to my client. I can click on this share right here and we can export it. We can do all that, but I want to kind of show how to get a link. So I can click on get a link. It's going to generate a link for me. This is so helpful. And
particularly with I feel like it's a more professional way to send to the client, you know?
Absolutely. So anyone can view. I can click right here to copy to my pasteboard. I can invite them to be a part of this. They can make edits. They can contribute. We can have it so that depending on what they see, we can have the titles. You can put all kinds of maybe your client names here. You can do settings. You can allow them to do their downloads here. And so you can upload all of this and have your clients, if you're shooting a wedding, if you're shooting an event, you can put all of your photos there. So I'm going to hit done.
Yeah.
It's going to have this one photo for me right here. And if I go ahead and come into the browser, and I'm going to open this in browser real quick. There we go. You can see we have the title here, we have the names, and we have our photos for review. So you could have it so that your client could download all of the photos. They can review all their photos here. You can do that directly out of Lightroom, which is magic.
And no huge attachment to an email. It's a clickable link. So much easier.
Exactly. And so if I wanted to, right, if you sent this to a client who wanted to leave you feedback, let me go ahead and sign in real quick, and I'll show you guys how you can sign in for having, for leaving comments, because you can leave comments here so that you can review and have quick collaboration with your collaborators. So just a second.
One thing I like about that too is not only is it more professional in a lot of ways, but I think you can capture a much sharper conversation or changes with the client when you do it under this kind of umbrella. Like, have you ever noticed that? Like, I get more, they spend more time on it because you can obviously send it with a message like going, here is your approval. Please go over this. Give us any comments. It's approved with changes otherwise, you know? And that helps us out every step of the way with client relations.
Yep. So I just made a comment here. I love the tones on this one. Can we change the background to blue? Let's go ahead and do this one. Wow, looks great. So now we've left those comments on that share. I can access those comments, and I can also come in here and get the information of what kind of photo this is, when it was taken. I took this right before New Year's Eve, and we can come in, we can report it if it's something bad, but you can do all of that here. And because I am invited to this, I can add photos to this if I wanted as well. So if you're working with a client, you want reference, if they're getting new photos in, you can work collaboratively with them in this folder, which is really cool.
Let's say they have an example of something they're trying to say, I want a wood texture more like this. They could drop it in there.
Exactly.
Again, I love taking it off of the email train and doing it in something that's a little bit more Slack, a little bit more Basecamp vibe. The way they've done it here.
Absolutely. So I can ungroup this stack, and that's going to go ahead and separate these into 2 photos. And check this out. You can see as I click on these, down in the corner, there's a new tab that just has this little comment.
What?
And that is bringing those comments that are happening online from review onto the app, right? So as you work on these, you can be getting feedback in real time. It will sync in real time. And you can see here, wow, looks great. Awesome. I have all of my information from my clients. I can reply to these and just say thanks. And that will show up with this photo everywhere that it is online. So everywhere that it goes, it will stay with that. You can like it. And this is just a really, really easy and great way to collaborate with people and do review without having to do a ton of back and forth.
Right? Is there any other integration sharing platform we should be thinking about at this stage?
Oh, is there? Let's go ahead and take a look.
I think there might be totally different too.
So let's go ahead and hit share here. And we're going to select both. Actually, we're going to select a couple of these photos. So I'm going to go back to my... let's go ahead and go back. Where did it go? Come back to me. Albums. Let's go. There we go. So I'm going to come back here and I'm going to select my 5-star picks. And then we are going to Andrew. Oh my goodness. I'm just going to kind of click through and grab a couple of these that I think are looking great. So I've selected 5 or 6 of them. And then we are going to go to share and go to Adobe Portfolio. So this is new. This is brand new. These are called connections. And if you haven't enabled connections, I'll show you how to do that in a second. But we can click here to Adobe Portfolio and we can add to a new project. And we're going to do this as office hours test. Hit continue. And it will generate that project for me. So it has opened Adobe Portfolio right here. And it is asking me if I want to be able to do that. I can hit continue. And check this out. This is my Adobe Portfolio. And all these photos are exported onto the site so that I can revise them. These are projects that I've uploaded to Behance. But all these photos are here. I can come in and edit them. Maybe I want to rearrange. Maybe I want to edit the style. Let's do 2 images per row. Let's do a little more space in between. Let's go ahead and move.
Yeah, just when you thought that was the only grid layout, you could actually go in there and make it look a little nicer.
Yep. So we can update live site right there. It's updating my live site. And if you haven't used Adobe Portfolio before, super easy to convert. I'll show you how to do that in just a second. I can come over here. I can change this page header, and we can, again, whatever we want to add to this, we can add. It's just like building a website. So I do want to show you, let's show you real quick how to convert. If you've never used Adobe Portfolio and you want to use this with your photos, what you can do is you can go to your Behance profile. So mine is just behance.net/hoch.co. And then you're going to click right here and it will ask you to convert to Adobe Portfolio. So these are all projects that I have uploaded of different things that I've worked on. And let's go ahead
feel like we're going back in time.
It is, right? Let's go ahead and look at this villain. This is a fashion line that I worked with. This is Rick. He's a fashion designer in LA. So we worked on this fashion line together. I did all the graphics. He did all the design. We did like a runway show, photo shoot, all that fun stuff. So I made a case study about it on Behance. Well, I can click right here to create my Adobe Portfolio, and then I'll be able to choose a template. So let's go ahead and do a new site. Why not? And we'll do full portfolio. Looks good to me. And then pick one that I like. Let's go ahead and pick, I like this one that has full photos. So I can click on this.
These are just starting points. They're great to start with and be like, yeah, that's the vibe I'm going for.
So I like this theme. I'm going to click use this theme. It's going to take everything on my Behance, including those photos that I just did, and watch what happens. It's thinking. It's thinking, and it's creating my website. And 3, 2, 1. Look at that. Andrew now has a website. And I can click in here. This is just what we looked at. It is the streetwear, but it has converted it into a really nice kind of outline for a website. I can turn on navigation, change my logos, all of that fun. And you can see here the integrations. We already have Lightroom. We can add albums if we wanted to. We have all of our Behance projects. If we had Adobe stock, we can also do Adobe stock on here. If we want to sell stock, if we want to highlight some stuff, we can integrate all of that very quickly and very easily using Adobe Portfolio. Easy.
And don't forget too, you can turn everything's a la carte there. You can turn a few projects off if those aren't supposed to be on the site that you are promoting at that time.
Yep.
It has full customization there as well, which is great.
So I do want to show one more thing that is like what we just showed. Let's go ahead and come back into Lightroom. And this is something that is a brand new feature. We can come into this Discover panel and click on My Profile. And look at this, looks familiar. It's basically my Behance, right?
Yeah.
So what's cool is I can share my edits and other. I don't know what's happening, y'all. My streaming platform.
It's Friday.
It's Friday. My streaming platform has crashed twice during the stream. It never does this, and it will not be doing this because I'll be finding a new one. Pew 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 pew. All right, cool. So we're back. I can click on share your edit right here. And what that's going to do is it's going to go into recent edits. And I can open this and look at maybe the one that I want to show is this cherry. So I can hit there. I can select there and then hit continue. And then I can share that to Discover. So when I share this to Discover, I'm going to add a title and I'm going to do bright product photography. And we can say the process, we lightened. I wanted to lighten the photo and give
seeing your screen
rich qualities. Oh, sorry, Nick. All right.
Okay.
So we have,
there it is. There you go.
So we have all of our information in here. Rich qualities, and then from there, the category food, yes. We probably want maybe lifestyle would be another one.
Okay.
And then maybe we want it to be fine art. Sure. We can enable this preset, and that is going to allow other people to download the preset and all of the edits that we have used on this. We also could include the location info. I don't want that. And we can allow remixing, which we'll show you in just a second.
That's really cool.
So
name your presets well, man, right?
Yep.
Like someone might be using them.
Yep. So when I submit and share this edit, it now is going to show up on my profile right there. I can share this as a link. So if I wanted to tweet out and say, hey, if you want to grab the preset that I created with this photo, you can do that right here. You can share that and people can download this preset. Now what's cool is you can click on this and it will show you, it's still editing, but I can download this preset once it is fully synced to my profile and use it on a photo, which is really cool. So let's come back to Discover, and I do want to show you remixes. This is one more thing that you can do. And remixes are basically a great way to practice, a great way to try new things and kind of test stuff out. So let's go ahead, and this looks good. So let's click on this photo right here. This is a good remix, and it will show you kind of the before and after. So when we click on this photo, you can see this is the original here. And then you see all of the different remixes that have happened by different collaborators. It's cool, right?
Great. I love it.
So you can see what you can do with this photo.
And these were all done by individuals?
Yep, they're all done by different people that are remixing them. You can see here remixed by, this is Blickland Photography. If we come over here, PDX Gunfighter. This one, which I really like, Andrew Mariscal. Love the texture on here. And so if we wanted to, we could do a remix on the original as well and create our own variation. But you can kind of see if you have a photo that maybe is similar to yours, you can see what you can do with it. So let's just type in here, coffee. And this is going to show us a bunch of different photos that are remixable and see if they have any remixes with them. So this is probably similar to what we have used. So let me go ahead and click in here and see if there are any remixes. Oh, and it did have a little icon that I didn't look at. So let me go back real quick.
Gotcha.
There we go. This one has 3 remixes on it. So let's click here. And it will show us, there we go, these 3 remixes. Ooh, and there's a really good one here. David Sykes. Love this color palette.
Oh, wow.
Right? So it's a really good remix.
Nice
And what's cool is the remixes will actually show their editing process. So I can see piece by piece. I'm not clicking anything. It's showing you piece by piece what they're doing to achieve that look and what they're doing, how they're editing the different panels to create the look that they created. So if you don't just want to copy the preset, you can actually learn how they do it by watching that step by step.
It's almost a tutorial. It's so kind of cool to see it, particularly if you're not too like comfortable in making some of those big changes to get that effect. Here you're seeing exactly how it's done.
Yes, this is probably one of my favorite additions to any Adobe product in a long time. Being able to see how people edit the photos, right? So I loved the edit of this photo right here with the grain. And I would be so curious as to what they did. And so let's go ahead and click on this and then watch on the right. It will take us through step by step what's happening. So here's the original. So we cropped it. A little bit of contrast, increase the whites, the blacks. The point curves is where we see those reds got bumped up. The oranges got bumped up. The blues got bumped down.
Yep.
We added some texture, a little bit of vignette, and then a ton of grain. And that's where we landed. So now I know if I have a photo in this style, I know how to edit it. But again, the great thing is we don't have to edit it because what I can do is I can just save as a preset right here. And nightlife in Hollywood looks good to me. We can save it. And then I can come into my photos and let's see if I have any nighttime photos in here.
Oh yeah, I'd love to see what that would do, what the result would be.
Let's see what photos I have. Oh, there are definitely some night photos in here. From a trip that I took. Let's do, yeah, sure. Let's do this one. So this is me and my friends. We went to Disney World. It was great. So now we can go ahead and grab that preset right here. We had nightlife in Hollywood and apply that preset. So let's see what happens. So we clicked. It doesn't look like it made that big of a difference, actually. Let me hover over. There we go. So that's the bright one. Here's the nightlife. There we go. And the amount we probably want. Ooh, that's too much. That looks pretty good, though.
Yeah.
So we've applied that. And let's do the before and after. So there's the original. There it is with that nightlife kind of put over it. I love what it's doing to the colors on the Spaceship Earth.
Yeah. It's almost clustering a few of them together and doing some weird effect to them. Like a reflection. That's really cool. So
again, we did that. I didn't do any editing there. We literally found a photo that we liked in Discover and we grabbed it as a preset and then applied it to one of our photos. So super easy. And you can see the popular ones. You can see all the edits. Here's mine. Check that out. Maybe somebody's going to remix it. If you want to, you can search for it. Search for my name and you can go in and you can change that. Let's go down here and see if we can find one more. I actually like this.
Yeah, the Discover part is just amazing. To have all these new things in there, I don't know, it just makes me feel more confident in photo editing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
In so many ways. I love seeing people have fun with this stuff.
So we just grabbed another preset of something that I liked that I'm like, yeah, it had coffee and it looked pretty cool. Let's grab one of our images and drop that preset on there very quickly. I believe that it was this one.
Great.
There we go. So you can zoom in here, and again, you can turn on that before and after by just clicking in the bottom right. Yeah. So right here, bottom right is before and after, and you can see the difference in contrast there and how it really like pumps it up. That's really cool.
Yeah. I like too, you could search for things like morning or, evening or something even so specific that you're trying to do. Again, going back to creative briefs, seeing what your brand's all about. And finding someone else that has already done something very similar, at least it's a head start. I like that idea of, I think even Elizabeth said, it's like a collaboration with all these people.
Yep, absolutely. All right, so Nick, let's go ahead and let's talk about collaboration. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the homework here. So in our Discord, which is right down here, discord.gg/ACC, that's the place to be, and that's the place that you can post your work and let us know what you're working on and we had asked you to post some photos. And since we are in the photography segment, we will be editing these over the next few weeks, but we have some photos in here. But I specifically wanted to call out one user in our Discord that low-key artsy did some photos with us. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy and paste these real quick into a Photoshop document.
These are so nice.
I'm not going to. It is not letting me. There we go. We can see the before and after right there. So here is the before and the after. And Nick, what tools that we've looked at do you think are in play here?
Ooh, I'm going to probably guess exposure is a big one. Probably texture. Gosh, I mean, I can't believe it has all that detail hidden within that dark picture.
Yep, I agree.
It's really great.
Yep, I think that one that's happening here as well as the select sky. There probably is some masking happening, right? So that that we're just getting the kind of basilica or the building that's there. I think that we're using some masking to get in there as well.
That looks great. Even the one below it, where it didn't have any green whatsoever, and then all of a sudden this new image. You look at the reds and the greens that are just popping out from the space down below.
Yep.
It's beautiful.
And something that is happening here as well, it looks like there are lens corrections. So if I go back and forth really fast, let's just, actually, can I hold this down? Yes. So you can see as it goes back and forth, it looks like it has a bubble, right? That's kind of popping out at you a little bit. Do you see that like small little difference?
Yes.
So that's a lens correction. And what that's doing is it's basically telling there are profiles that are saved in Lightroom that say, hey, this lens warps the image by this much, and it's fixing it. So it's changed that so it's less bubbly and makes it a little more authentic to real life, a little more flat. And
Right. And low-key artsy is in our chat. Look at that.
Hello. Yes, thank you so much.
That looks great. Good work. Really need to see that change. What a difference it makes. That's really cool. Awesome. Oh, look at these ones Elizabeth dropped in with the lizards and everything else. This looks great.
Oh, yes. A little trip to the zoo.
Very nice. Very, very cool. Great
so
one.
Your homework over the next few weeks, over the next week, really, because we will be back live again next week, is to take some photos. Edit them in Lightroom, use those presets and save the presets, grab from other people. It'll make it super easy for you to make some really cool photos.
Great, man. All these tools, we have way too much at our disposal, man.
It's too much. And Nick, what would be the other homework if people were looking for, I don't know, like a big reason to get involved in something that's coming up in a couple months?
You cut off again.
Oh, sorry. What would be something that they could do for homework to get involved with the community in a larger way in person in a couple months?
Oh, that would be our Adobe Max. Definitely. If you guys are in the LA area, please consider coming. It would be so great to meet a ton of people, but hopefully for sure you can interact with it online as well. But what an incredible opportunity to meet and greet with everybody. Can't wait.
Yes. So please come to Adobe Max. It's going to be a great time. We'll both be there, I believe. Nick, you'll be there, right?
For sure.
I'll be there. We can hang out. Come meet us. Come hang out. Maybe we'll do some portfolio reviews. We'll have some fun. Who knows? But thanks so much for joining us this week. We will be back next week with another episode of Adobe Office Hours. Next week, I believe that we are talking about masking. So we'll be working in Photoshop and Lightroom, showing how to like remove things, remove backgrounds, isolate, change colors, really get detailed on your images so that we don't have to do overarching edits to everything. So tune back in next week and every week. What time and where, Nick?
That's 2:30 p.m. Pacific time every Friday right here on Adobe Live.
Yes, we'll see you then. Bye.
Bye, guys.